Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the video. So in this video, I'm going to be going over what I believe is the next hot sector and just going over all the places in the market that I'm looking at and what I think is going to happen in the coming days, weeks, and months. So in this coming month, the volatility is going to be absolutely insane. So we have Trump with the virus, Trump tweeting about stimulus, things are going to get nuts. There's so many positive catalysts, so many negative catalysts, and also the biggest thing that we have coming is the election. There are going to be so many high opportunity trades leading into the election and after the election. So in this video, I'm going to be going over some plays that I'm looking at and what I think the next hot sector is going to be. So before I get into the video, let's take a look at my last video about the hot sector and what I thought that was going to be and how that turned out. We're talking about what I think is the next sector to invest in. So in the stock market, we see this trend where sectors get hot and start taking off. In the past, we've seen cannabis start to take off. We've seen the EV industry, electric vehicle industry, take off most recently. Recently, I called out the e-commerce industry, such as Jumia Technologies and C Limited. They started to take off as well. Jumia actually tripled. So that was the sector that I was investing in. And now I'm investing in a new hot sector that I think is on the come up. So this sector is the SPAQ sector. SPAQs are special purpose acquisition companies. The SPAQs that I'm investing in and I expect to take off soon are the ones that are merging in Q3. These include LCA, which I talked about in my most recent video, SHLL, also talked about in a recent video, along with SPAQ, ticker symbol SPAQ. And the final one that I'm going to be talking about heavy in this video is FMCI, which is merging with Tattooed Chef. So as you saw in one of my previous videos, I called out the hot sector of SPAQ plays. Now right before this, I called out the e-commerce plays, and this included Jumia Technologies and C Limited. So I shifted over to SPAQs, and now I'm starting to take a step back from SPAQs. There are a couple plays that I still really love in SPAQs, and I'll be going over those in just a second. But the plays that are starting to heat up now is first of all the low to mid cap stocks. Now nobody wants to put their money in big cap stocks because the overall market is just so volatile, so up and down. So where do people put their money? They put their money into low to mid cap stocks to trade. So now there's a ton of low and mid cap stocks heating up. I'm going to be going over what sector I'm looking at in that space, and included in this is virus plays and election plays. So there's a ton of plays that I'm looking at leading to the election for plays that will benefit greatly off Biden winning and plays that benefit greatly off of Trump winning. So I'm looking into those right now, and also virus plays. We know that Trump got the virus. The NFL, there's so many players coming out with the virus. There's virus plays are going to start heating up once again, and there's going to be some crazy runners coming very, very soon. And we got to act quick. We got to get into these before they pop. So in my Sunday video, as you guys know, I'll be going over the top stocks I'm looking at for that week ahead. So I'll go over some more stocks in that video. In this video, I just want to give some quick ideas out there. The sector that I'm looking at, which is the virus plays. So before I get into all those stocks to watch, we're going to talk about the SPAQ plays that I'm still very interested and still playing. So recently we saw the SPAQ graph merged with Velodyne Lyder, ticker symbol VLDR, and this sold off massively once the merger happened and the ticker change happened. So why did this sell off? The PIPE investors, which are private investors, they're allowed to sell once this merge completed, so they all started dumping their shares, took their profit, and this resulted in the stock taking a massive dip towards the end of the week once it merged. So on Thursday and Friday, the stock was getting destroyed. And then also hyliion, ticker symbol HYLN, they completed the merger with SHLL, and once the ticker change happened, boom, it dropped 12% on Friday. Now they did not have the PIPE investors, but it was the reaction once the ticker change happened. Everything was already priced in to the merger, so it sold off. So how can we learn from this for the future plays? For the future plays, I'm looking for the big catalyst to come, which is the merger announcement, and once that happens, I will most likely be taking profits very, very quickly after that. Reason because there's most likely going to be a sell-off once the ticker change happens. After the reaction for these two, people are going to be wanting to take profits even a little bit early. So watch for the sell-off beforehand and afterhand. So what we need to do is be selling on the first big pop we see. So when they announce their merger date, that's probably the good time to take profits and then get in later when the drop does happen. Now I also think there's a huge bounce back play to happen with VLDR and HYLN, two that sold off massively after the ticker change. Now I'm in these for a bounce back. I see a big recovery in the coming weeks because they are in the EV sector, and the EV sector is about to take off in my opinion as it benefits off both candidates winning. It's just going to start heating up again, and I think the EV sector is going to be one of the hot sectors coming up as well. So what SPAQs am I still in and focusing heavily on? So first of all, LCA, Landcadia Holdings, which is the merger with Golden Nugget Gaming. That's an online gaming platform. So I'm in this because we are going to get the merger announcement date any day now when that does happen. I could see it anywhere from an 8 to 15% pop when the date is confirmed and everything is confirmed that the merge is going through, which will be happening in the coming days. I expect it to merge in mid to late October. Also SPAQ, the merger with Fisker Incorporated. This is going to be a super hype one. It's in the EV sector as well, so watch for a huge pop. I could see anywhere from a 10 to 15% pop, possibly to $20 pretty quickly after we get the merger announcement. Now I'm in these two stocks because we are going to get the announcement any day now, and I'm not focusing heavily on many other SPACs. Two that I am focusing on though is the first one is Trine Acquisition Corp, ticker symbol TRNE. This can be the merger with Desktop Metal. I think Desktop Metal is going to be the future of manufacturing. If you take a look at their investor presentation, I actually made a video over this, and it was one of my top 3 stocks to buy in October of 2020. But I like this as a long-term play and a risk-managed play. So it's currently trading the $10.80 range. The absolute worst-case scenario downside is goes to the low 10s. Now I do not expect this because this is such a good company with huge growth right in front of it. But we do got to be aware, as we saw with CCXX, we expected much better performance from this one, but it has dropped below $10, even though the redemption is $10.04. So why did it drop so far? Well, the market was tanking on Friday. There's just a lot of people freaking out the merger may not go through. Personally, I think the merger has a 90% plus chance of going through. Just the market's not reacting very well at all to this stock. So it actually dropped below $10, but the redemption price is right around $10. So if you're buying below $10, it's basically free money if you do the redemption. I believe for CCXX, the redemption is at $10.04. So let's say you buy the stock at $9.90. You're making 14 cents per share on this trade. Now that's something to be aware of, that it is possible to drop below 10, but pre-merger, if you get it below 10, that's basically free money if you do the redemption or expect a bounce back. So keep an eye on that. It is possible for these to go below $10, but very, very unlikely, and if so, it's a great buy opportunity. Now, I do not expect this one to go under 10. I see huge upside in this one. They expect some huge growth and some massive opportunity in the 3D printing industry and manufacturing industry. Now, the next SPAC stock that I'm still playing is HCAC. This can be the merger with GNOG. This is an electric car company. They have their own product, some very cheap EVs, and their business model is kind of like Fisker, where you can lease these cars for however long you want. So if you want to lease the car for a month, you can take it back right after a month. If you want to lease it for, let's say, a random number, like 7 months, you can take it back after 7 months, and you just kind of take it back when you want on a month-by-month basis. So it's a subscription-based business model, and I do think that has some huge growth in front of it, also being in the EV industry, and also being a super cheap stock under $11. There's a lot of good things for going for this stock, and I expect a lot of partnerships to come out, and there are just many, many catalysts in the coming months. It should be merging in mid-November, same with TRNE. So these are long-term plays, kind of safe plays. I'm using these two plays as risk managed plays and kind of using them as a savings account type. With the volatility in the market, I feel very comfortable having big positions in these because I do know that it doesn't have much downside, probably 9% downside worst case scenario. The potential upside is 100% plus upside. If they do get the hype, the partnerships, and the deals that they need, it will easily go over 100% gains. So I do like these a lot. Also, one more that I like as a risk managed play is PSTH, Pershing Square Holdings. This is Bill Ackman's SPAC, and a lot of people are using this as a savings account risk managed type investment as well because they will be acquiring a company in the next 23 months. This is the biggest SPAC in history, so they are going to be looking for a game-changing company, and people are in this for anticipation of the deal that they may make. So that's also one to keep an eye on as a safe, risk-managed play. But a bunch of the SPACs are being hit hard right now. The market is shifting away from the SPAC stocks as the hot sector, so we do got to take a step back from SPACs as well until the hot sector comes back. So just be careful, don't be 100% invested in only SPAC plays, but there are still big opportunities that I am still playing in SPACs, but we do got to be looking at the hot sector, and that's what we need to shift to. So now we know that Trump got the virus. The market reacted very negatively from the president's health. If anything bad was to happen to Trump, the market would absolutely tank. You just never want the president's health to be in danger. That would potentially cause mass chaos, so keep an eye out for that. But this is going to start heating up the virus plays. We have the vaccine plays and the testing plays. Two that I really like. The first one is QDEL, ticker symbol QDEL. I actually called this one out a while back on Twitter in the mid 100s. I like this a lot. They also just got big PR out. So that's one that I like a lot as a testing play. Now it is a large cap, but I see this one easily running to $300 in the coming weeks, as long as the virus plays are still hot. There's also news out that Trump is also being treated with remdesivir. So what does this help? This helps Gilead Sciences, ticker symbol GILD, out massively, and we should expect some big things in the coming week with GILD. So keep an eye on those two. Those are two big caps. I will be talking about a couple of small caps in future videos. There are going to be a lot of hot and hyped up plays in the small cap land, so keep an eye out on those, and I will be talking about those in a future video. Now the next big catalyst that I'm focusing on is the presidential election. Now, quick disclaimer, I do not have any political views. I do not care who wins the election. All I care about is what stocks do. All I care about is the stock market. I really do not care about politics, and I have no preference. So anyways, what I'm looking for in the election is, first of all, during the debate, both presidents came out and they said they really like electric vehicles. So for this reason, I'm loving the electric vehicle sector right now. Some of those tickers include SPAQ, HYLN is also one that I really like at this price. NEO, ticker symbol NIO, ticker symbol SOLO. Those are two to keep an eye on as well. And there's a bunch more, and you cannot forget about Tesla. This is one I'm watching, and I do think will benefit either way, whichever the election goes. So the EV sector is a big watch and a big hot sector coming up, in my opinion. And also we got to look at the plays that are going to benefit whether Trump wins or if Biden wins. So first of all, if Biden wins, we got to keep a big eye on the renewable energy sector. This is what I'm watching big if Biden wins. So I really like Enphase Energy, ticker symbol ENPH if Biden wins. He really likes solar energy, and ENPH is my favorite solar energy play. Also NextEra Energy, ticker symbol NEE. They also have a 4-to-1 split coming up, and we know that the stock market loves stock splits. So this is one that I'm looking to get into as well. So those are two plays I'm looking at for Biden. I also have a bunch more plays that I'll probably have a future video on, focused purely on the presidential election. And so for Trump, what's going to benefit? If Trump wins, I'm focusing big on the big banks. So I'll be looking at JPMorgan Chase, ticker symbol JPM, Bank of America, ticker symbol BAC, Wells Fargo, ticker symbol WFC. Reason because they benefit greatly off Trump's tax laws. So the banks are my big play on that. I also do have a couple of smaller plays for Trump. But like once again, I will have a future video on purely presidential election plays, and there'll be some small cap stocks included in those. Now, as of right now, Joe Biden is favored to win the election, and his odds actually went up after Trump got the virus. So things as of right now are betting on Biden winning. So the more that the market expects either Trump or Biden to win, these plays on these presidencies are going to start going up. So for example, a bunch of the renewable energy plays went up this week as Biden's odds increased. So keep an eye on all of those plays for whose betting odds you think is going to win, and get into these beforehand, not just after the election, because they will already be missing their pop. So that's my strategy on the election. I will be getting into these plays in the coming week most likely, and if the stimulus does go through, we're going to have a huge market pop no matter what happens. The market right now depends on stimulus. Trump actually just sent out a tweet saying that America does need stimulus. So if this does end up going through, this is absolutely huge for the market and should resume the bull market if we do get the stimulus. If not, the market is tanking right now because the president has the virus. It seems like the virus is spreading more and more right now. So things are just going to get crazy. Things are going to get very volatile. So there's going to be a ton of money to be made, or there's going to be a ton of money to be lost. So be careful, be very, very risk managed. Always keep cash on hand, and just managing risk is the number one thing we all need to focus on right now as the volatility increases, and also get ready for these big catalysts coming up. If you want to get 2 free stocks on Webull, value from $8 to $1,600, I highly recommend you get those 2 free stocks. You can't go wrong with free money. If you want to get $5 free in Acorn investing or $10 free in Bitcoin, I have those links down below as well. Those all are affiliate links, so it does support the channel, and I would greatly appreciate that. And leave me a comment below with your favorite EV plays, your favorite election plays, and what you personally think is the next hot sector coming up. Subscribe if you haven't already, like the video, I would greatly appreciate that as well. And yeah, good luck to everybody this coming week, and let's get rich.